Hello everyone, welcome back to our Flutter lab. In today's experiment, we are going to learn about button widget in Flutter. Before learning buttons, we need to understand how a Flutter application starts, right? So generally, a Flutter application starts from import statement, from main.dart, right? So every Flutter application will begins with main.dart. Okay. So before we begin about button widgets, I would like to explain you all about main.dart because every Flutter application begins with main.file. Okay, with main.file, right? So every Flutter I'll have a notes also. You guys can have notes simultaneously while doing this. Okay. I'll just maintain a readme.nd here so that it will be fine. So for before today my agenda is all about to explain you all about a button widget. Button widget. So before exploring something about button widget, we need to understand if you are watching this or else if you're watching this session for the first time, you are not in the classes of you haven't seen my previous classes. Even that you guys can understand about this widget and how to run the application of Flutter. Clear? So we need to before right now in generic I have created a lot of widgets to learn as part of Flutter. I have created till now I have created text widget, icon widget, container widget. In that way I have created so many widgets. As part of it, I would like to make you understand about button widgets. So button widgets are simply like you guys can see in ATM machine we have withdraw button, and in lift we have elevators like first floor, second floor, and third floor, and these like 1 2 3 are like buttons. Okay, and 1 2 3 are like floors, and in calculator we can see like we have strip like 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. The like these type of buttons we see in real world in real world buttons, right? So in login, when you are going to log in at some websites, you will have a login button like this. So how to create all these type of buttons and what all type of buttons we have in this Flutter? So that's what I would like to explore. So before exploring about buttons, I would like you guys to understand about like how the Flutter application will start. So before so that we need to understand how a Flutter we need to understand how a Flutter application starts, right? We need to understand how a Flutter application starts, right? So for that we need to, for every Flutter application, every Flutter answer for the above, the answer is every Flutter application starts begin with the main.dart. So before exploring about button widget, we'll understand about main.dart, what we have written so far in this main.dart. Okay, so in this main.dart we have I'm commenting this, control K, control C. So we have import statements. So import package Flutter material dot. So whenever we want to use something created by another person or something like that, we need to import it. So in the same manner, so in real life, let's say for example, suppose you want to write a notes. So can you write without a pen? No, right? So you first need a pen. Similarly, if you want to create an application, we first need Flutter widgets. So we have Flutter widgets in material.dart. Okay, so we import material.dart. So that's the reason we have written import package Flutter material.dart. Clear? Now to the next, we need to understand what is material. So material is a design. What is material? What is material? This you guys need to understand. What is I mean, in generic, so many people, so many students will ask me what is materials are. So material design is a design created by Google. Okay, it provides ready-made UI components like buttons, text, okay, and icons and AppBars and for basic structure we have scaffold and cards. These all UI components we can find in under material design. Okay, so we can find in this material design like many more. In that we have buttons, text, icons, app bars, scaffold, cards. All these we have under material.dart. So the reason we are importing, someone who is nothing but Google created all these widgets. So from that we are importing this package Flutter material.dart. Okay, so and to the next we are currently using ButtonWidget.dart. So I'm uncommenting this. And I also have like into the down we have button widget. I need to open that. So I've uncommented that as well from home method. And in generic, Flutter won't know about button widget. So we need to, I mean, main.dart also doesn't know. We need to what Flutter doesn't know what elevated button, what is row widget, what is column widget. We don't know all this, right? We are using all these separate in separate files. Hence all these type of buttons we can find under package Flutter material.dart. Okay, even that if you can see the scaffold, we have a scaffold over here. I mean, we are under this we can see the scaffold. So scaffold is also from material.dart. And so now currently we'll understand about import button widget_widget.dart. So this file is created by us, but Flutter gives us widgets. So now we are importing our own widget. So own widget, which is nothing but button_widget.dart. Okay, without importing this, Flutter cannot find out, right? So the reason we have created button_widget file over here. Okay, so I'll explain about button_widget.dart. So here now next to this void main. So void main, this is the one of the most important thing to understand in main.dart. So in generic, void main, I have told you about void main is a entry point, is an entry point. So let's say, for example, you are entering into a, let's say I can explain void main. We have completed first line. In the second line, void main. So in void main, in generic, I used to tell you guys about this. Is like this is the entry point. This is the entry point. You can also say in this way, but in real life, let's say for example, you are entering into a shopping mall. Okay, so there is only one entrance, right? So there is only one entrance there. So similarly, every Flutter application has only one entrance. Okay, so the entry is main. Okay, so whenever we start the application using Flutter run, as you can see here, we are running the application using Flutter run. So using Flutter run, so the Flutter, whenever we start the application using Flutter run, Flutter first looks for the main. So this is, then it will start executing. Okay, so in generic we can understand like run button, and then it will go to main, then application starts. Right, so in this way we can understand. So then what is run app? Next to that we have understood so far about void main, and next we need to understand about run app. So run app So what is run app? You need to understand about this. So you have bought for example, you have bought a new television. Okay, until you press power on, nothing appears, right? That's what in generic, right? So similarly when we write run app, it will turn on, it will turns on the Flutter application. So till now what we understood, run app starts the application, run app starts Flutter and display application. So till void main what we understood, like run button in main.dart. So what I'll do is, in main.dart we understood about void main. Void main is, we can just simply open this, we can write till this point and we can take this copy code to readme.md and we can paste over here and we can understand about this, right? After from void main. So void main is the entry point. Example, when you are entering into a shopping mall, there is only one entrance. In the same similar way, for every Flutter application has only one entrance, so the entrance is main. So and then whenever we start the application using Flutter run, Flutter first looks for the main and then it will start executing. But after run button we have main, then application starts. So after we have run app, right? We have written run app. So this run app is nothing but you have got a new television. Until you press power on, nothing appears. Similarly, run app turns on the Flutter application and turns on the Flutter application. Then constant my app. We have constant my app. Okay, constant my app creates what's my app. We created our own. What is my app in this? Again, till here. So in under this, so why my app? Okay, why my app? So we created our own widget called my app. So Flutter says what should I display? So we are saying, or we are replying as display. Okay, display my app. Understood? So why my app is creating? We created our own widget. I mean, void main we understood about run app. In my app, constant is which will not change. It will be constant means it is like constant. It's like nothing to change. Okay, and in my app is nothing but we created our own widget name called my app. In that, Flutter says what should I mean, when we are running the application, we started with run app, then it switched on, but it doesn't know what should I display. So we are saying that we are replying display my app. So to the next, we are extending this my app. To the next, we are extending this my app to two types of widgets. One type is stateless widget and other is stateful widget. right? So in generic, when we see this main.dart, after this we have class my app my app extends stateless widget. Okay, stateless widget. So don't get fear when you see this line. What is all this? Sir is not explaining about all this. I'm not having that much time sometimes. So we need to understand about this. Okay, so the next line, as per our as part of our void main.dart, we need to understand about this. So I'm completing this, right? So I'm not deviating from what I want to say about complete in this lecture. So as in this lecture I would like to complete about button widget. For as part of it, I've started explaining you about main.dart. So in main, because every application will start with starts with every Flutter application will start with main.dart. So as part of main.dart, we have till now so far we have understood about import, why we are importing this line. Package flutter material.dart, and I've explained you about import button underscore widget.dart. And coming to this, we have so far completed about void main and run app and constant and my app. Now to the next line, I would like to explain you about why we have written this class my app and extending that into stateless widget. I have explained you about, you can also search in Google and everything, right, about stateless widget and stateful widget, what does it exactly means, and I have explained this in multiple classes as well. I don't want to make you understand about this, but I would like to go beyond this. Okay, so let's go to readme.md, and now so in generic in class also I've told you everything in Flutter is a widget, even a button is a widget. Okay, and the text is a widget, and AppBar, which we see on the top of the screen of every application. Let's say what means AppBar. I'll show you AppBar, which is nothing but this line. Real world button examples, we have this line, right? So AppBar in generic, AppBar on the top of the application. What we are exploring, this is all this place is called as AppBar. Okay, so AppBar is also a widget. All these are widgets are again from Google. Okay, and therefore we create my app. My app is a customized widget which we have created, right? Because we created it. So now my app, which I have created, extends it inherits to, or we can say takes features from stateless widget. So now okay, so in generic, everything in Flutter is a widget. Even a button is a widget, and text is a widget, and AppBar is a widget. So here into the next line, my app. So this my app is a customized widget because we created it, right? So where we have created, so we are creating our own widget called my app. So to the next, to this we are extending that my app to stateless widget. So we need to understand about stateless widget. So what is stateless widget? Now what is so suppose you have Aadhaar card, right? You have Aadhaar card. Does it change every second? The simple answer for this is no, right? It remains the same, right? So that is stateless. Okay, suppose for next example, you have Instagram likes, let's say like 100, 101, 102, 103. So it is keep changing, right? So this is like stateful. So stateful, which is nothing but it keeps changing. Stateless, which is nothing but, let's say like your Aadhaar card, it will not change every second or like over time. So it remains the same. That is stateless. Hence it will change, but it will take it is not that much often like Instagram likes. So where you have an option like the data will change over time, there we will use the stateful widget, where the data will not change over time. For in that purpose we'll use stateless widgets. Okay, I hope you guys understood what is stateful and stateless. I have explained this about multiple times in the class as well. So for today, our session we are not using any change. We are not using any change for this experiment, for this output like ATM machine. This appearance will be, I mean this text will be the same. It will not change over time. So the reason we are using stateless widget over here. Okay, we are using stateless widget over here in the main.dart. Okay, now to the next understanding about super.key. So this is nothing but it is a constructor. It is called as constructor. Okay, so Flutter automatically creates this. Okay, it helps Flutter identify widgets efficiently. Let's understand for this time till this much about this super.key. It helps Flutter to identify widgets efficiently, and that's it. You can understand in this way. So it is called a constructor, and every widget has a constructor. Just remember like this. Remember, every widget has a constructor. Okay, to the next, main.dart, we have override, right? So what is override again? What is at the right override? Flutter, or for this Flutter already has a build method. Okay, so we are replacing it with our own implementation. Okay, what do you need to understand? You need to understand Flutter has already a build method. We are replacing it with our own build method, own implementation. That is called a override. Okay, and then we need to understand about widget build this line, right? On clicking on this line, you can just copy this line. Okay, so this is like, this line is very important. This line is very important. Okay, Flutter asks us, what should I display? Okay, so inside build, everything written here appears on the screen. Okay, I mean, inside this, what we have written, that all will appear on the screen. Okay, that will all appear on the screen. So again, we have next to the line, to this line, we have return, right? So the first we have return, right? So we need to understand about this. Right, we need to understand about this. So about return, so Flutter asks, like, what should I Flutter asks, like, what should I display? Okay, we return, we are writing return our answer, and then our answer. Okay, our answer is like nothing but material app, right? About return. Okay, and then about material app. Okay, material app. let's say to understand about material lab, your example, you are constructing a house. You are constructing a house. Okay. First, we need walls, right? First, you need walls, right? And then we need rooms, and then furniture in this process, right? And similarly, material lab is like the entire house. Everything else comes inside the material lab. Okay, inside the material lab. So next to this, we have written this, right? So what is this? In generic, this is debug show checked mode banner false. Did you notice a debug when written on the emulator? This line hides it only for neat appearance. I mean, see, I'll show you what will happen in the output. Here, output a debug banner will be shown if you make it as true. I mean, Control K, Control C, Control S, and when I click on small r, it will reload. It will hot reload. So you guys can see here it is like debug banner. We got it. Its debugging banner is nothing but it's a this line will hide it if you make it false. If not, it will come, right? It will come. That is the difference. And the towards to the next home. So home, where what should appears first when the application starts? What should appears first? That's what we are saying. Home, go to button widget. Okay, because we are creating button widget as part of our experiment currently what we are doing. So let's stop this right now, and after a few minutes we'll start about button widget. What we have written here, what all types of buttons we have, like elevated button, and we have seen multiple buttons in few minutes back, like login, lift, numbers and all. We'll check all those buttons and we'll explore about that. Okay, thank you. Hi, welcome to our Flutter classes. Coming back to the classes, like as we started about button widget, so far in the previous class I've explained you about main.dart, how the main.dart is working and all. I've explained each line what exactly we have written in this main.dart, as this is the entry point and all. I've explained you about main.dart. Now, as part of today's today we are learning buttons. We are learning buttons. Therefore, we need to understand about button widget dot button underscore widget dot. As we are even in this main.dart, I have uncommented this import file of a button. The reason we are importing this button widget, and in the home also I've changed to home button widget. I mean, when the application starts, it will in the home it will show button widget in the home. Okay, now we will write readme.md so that you guys can also note the notes how to write. So far we have understood about button main.dart. So as part of learning about buttons, buttons. Therefore, I mean in Flutter everything is like in Flutter everything is a widget. So button is also a widget. Okay, this button widget will come in the first screen. Why? As part of it is there in home, right? In main.dart it is there in home. The reason it comes on the first screen, right? So let's say if we learn tomorrow about any other widget, let's say row widget, then your import file be row widget, then you need to comment this and uncomment row widget. And in home we need to, in home I have changed, and in the import also we need to change this into this. We need to comment this button widget, and we need to comment this row widget in that way. Okay, so nothing else change, everything will be same in main.dart. Like this you need to explore. So today as part of button widget we need to I'm uncommenting this button widget. Okay, so to uncomment control / or else control K, control C and control K and control U to uncomment. This is how it goes. Okay, now now we'll move to button widget. As we are exploring the first screen as button widget and we are understanding about button widget, we'll move to button widget. So what is there in all this? We will understand each and everything what all we have in this code. Okay, so I'm just copying from the starting to readme.md. okay, so this is the code what we have. So in this we'll understand, like let's say I'll not repeat the same. I'll make it as I'll do like this, and I'll have a split screen, split, and here I'll have button widget. Okay, now here I'll have readme.md instead. Okay, now we'll understand each line about this. Okay, each line what it is doing. Okay, in this way I've made this I've made this split screen. In the split screen, one side we are having the explanation of readme, explanation in readme.md, and in one screen we are seeing the code, right? What is happening in under what we have written under button widget, right? So now moving towards to button widget. Okay, this is something like another widget. This is something like another widget. So for that, what we are doing, we are writing the first line as you guys can see the entire code is moving. I mean the code is there in this class, So this is another widget. This line says this is another widget, and today this widget contains a button. Okay, so again we are to the next line. What we have written? Return scaffold. So what is return scaffold? Return scaffold means means a basic page structure. Okay, it provides in this what we have in scaffold, what all we have as part of this until scaffold. You guys can see from scaffold to scaffold arrow, like open parenthesis starting from here to here, right? So what all we have under scaffold, I mean, it provides a basic structure. A scaffold basically it provides a basic structure. It provides AppBar, okay, and what all we have, body, and sometimes like floating actions buttons as part of this experiment, and a drawer. Okay, so think of it, scaffold is nothing but an analogy. Think of it as a frame of a house. Okay, frame of a house. Before placing anything in the house, like furniture or something like that, you need the particular rooms, correct? So similarly, before adding buttons and text, you create the page structure using scaffold. Okay, that's what it is all about. And after the scaffold, we need to understand about AppBar, right? AppBar is nothing but, when I'm opening, I've already explained about AppBar, again I'm repeating. So AppBar is nothing but like it's like a top bar of the application. We see this is elevated button widget. This line, this is there on top of the application. This line here we have sometimes we'll have next button, return button, home button, and all. So these line on the top of the line, we call it as AppBar. So top bar of the application. Like usually what it contains, usually you can write in the notes, usually it contains like title, as we have currently, title as elevated button widget. Similarly, sometimes we'll have back button, and sometimes we'll have some actions using their buttons. Okay, and that's it. And to the next we have body. To understand about the body, the main content of the screen, the main content in the screen is button pressed and click me in this output, right? Click me is the main output, right? So that content will be under the body. Okay, under the body. So main content of the screen, everything visible comes inside the word. Now next, what you have written, center, right? So what is center? We are saying that to place this body, I mean this body, I mean center, what this center will do, this center, what it will do, till here to here, what this center will do, this center, it will moves its child to the center of the screen. The reason we got output in the center, right? And next we have elevated button, right? Elevated button. So elevated button, it's a, what we can say, we can understand this as Google's default raised button. There are different types of buttons. In that we can understand it is a raised button. So as you can see, this is a raised button. When I'm going there, it is slightly elevated with a shadow. You guys can see when I'm going on top of this button, it is slightly slightly elevating, I mean slightly coming up with a shadow, right? So that is what it shows. Elevated button means is nothing but raised button, looks slightly elevated with a shadow, okay? And then we have onPressed, right? So onPressed is nothing but when should this, I mean when this should be executed, when should this code supposed to execute. It's supposed to when the button is button pressed, whatever what we are printing, button pressed, it's supposed to execute when button is pressed, when the button is clicked or pressed, right? So that is correct. So the reason we are writing onPressed print button pressed. So where we'll get this print button pressed, I mean where we'll get this button print, so this prints the message in the debug console mode. It is not shown on the mobile screen. Let's see this. When I'm typing this, when I'm going in control tilt, so click again, I'll run the application, I'll close it. Yes, I would like to terminate the job. Then again Flutter run. I've run the application. Now it will run on Chrome because I have selected 2. I can also select a Windows, but I have there is something issues in my Windows operating system that I supposed to build something. But to understand about Flutter applications and all, Chrome is enough as of now. In future, when I am developing some Windows applications or else mobile applications, I'll have emulators and all. Currently haven't installed Android. I haven't installed Android Studio, but I'm not using any emulators as of now. Let's wait until this output comes in the screen. Okay. So this is hot reload. When we do some changes in the code, we can also implement hot reload. We can use this feature of Flutter. This is the good feature of it. Okay. Now you guys can see when I'm clicking on the click me button, we got the result as button pressed. Again when I clicked button pressed, now I'm getting the result button pressed in the debug console mode. Okay, it is not shown in the screen. That's what I have explained in the readme.md of this. Okay, it is not shown on this print button pressed will not show on the screen. Okay, then we'll understand about the child. Okay, then we'll understand about the child. To the next we have child. Okay, child means what should be placed inside the button. So I would like to place something inside the button. I don't want just button supposed to be there. So I would like to say that answer is text, right? What text? The text is click me, right? The text is click me, right? So this is the label we displayed on the button. Right? By end of this session, with this execution flow, we understood about run button. We started our application with run button. Run app, and then Flutter run. So when we start Flutter run, it will go to the main application. It will go to the main.dart. From there, it will move to the run app to launch the Flutter application. From there, it will go to my app, where we have creating our own custom widget, which is nothing but my app. In my app, we are building material app. In material app, we are importing button widget. We are importing button widget. From here, we have created button_widget.dart. Here we understood about scaffold. We understood about as the scaffold, and right here we have the scaffold. No, from here where we are understanding about this is all about class. We understood about scaffold, and we understood about scaffold, and then we understood about material app. It will move to the material app. From there, we are moving to from scaffold we are moving to AppBar, and then we understood about body, and we came to center. We understood about elevated button. We understood about elevated button. From there, we clicked on print. Button pressed and text click me. The flow it went like for. I'm just giving you the flow. It is you guys can remember. Okay, right? Run button. Okay, from here it went to run button, it went to main. Okay, it went to main to start the application. From main it went to run app. From run app it went to my app. It came to my app. From there we imported material app. From there we created a home button widget to come in on the first screen as a home in the application, and then we understood about scaffold. In scaffold we came across AppBar, and AppBar body, and then understood about center, and then elevated button, and then understood about text click me, right? So finally click the button and show the debug console displaying on button pressed, right? So today in this session only we prints a message and opens the prints a message that button pressed, right? But in future we will make buttons opens a new screen. Okay, new screens, submits forms. When we click on submit, it will submit the forms. It will fetch the data. Okay, it will perform many other actions. Okay, and this onPressed function is where those actions will be written. Okay, I mean, if you understood, I mean, to perform submitting forms and fetch other data and perform any other actions using this onPressed function only. Okay, and this is all about elevated button and about button widget and how to do main.dart and all. Thanks for the session, and we'll continue with the other buttons. We'll explore about other buttons as well. Thank you.